I would go on holiday. Wait, the word would in this sentence could mean that going on holiday is something I prefer, something I recommend, something that could happen in the future, something that happened in the past, and something that will only happen if something else happens first. Whoa! Would is a powerful word. So in this video, I'm going to teach you the 12 different ways that we use would, which are essential if you want to have an advanced level of English. Are you ready? Okay, 12 different ways to use would. That's a lot to cover in one video, so I'm going to keep it as concise as possible, and I'll also leave a link below where you can download a full summary of this lesson with extra examples too. Right, we're going to start with 4 different ways we can use would in the past. Then we'll look at 4 ways we can use it in the present, and then we'll look at how we can use it with conditionals and hypothetical futures. Okay, let's start with the future in the past. What? Okay, well, basically, when we're talking about the past and from the perspective of a past event, but in that perspective, we're talking about the future, we use would. Okay, it's always easier to look at these things with examples, so let's have a look. I was confident, so I knew I would pass the test. Do you see? I was confident. That's the past situation. And from that perspective of that past situation, we're talking about a future event, the test. So I was confident that I would pass the test. It might also be helpful for you to think that in this context, would is the past of will. So in the present, this sentence would be, I am confident, so I think I will pass the test. But when we put everything into the past, it becomes, I was confident, so I thought I would pass the test. Okay, here's another example from a football match. For example, at half-time, they were sure they would win the game. So again, we're looking at a future event, which is the end of the game, from the perspective of a past situation, which is halftime. And in those situations, you need to use would. Okay, would is also used instead of will in reported speech or indirect speech. Look at these examples. I will call you tomorrow. That is direct speech. That is what somebody says. I will call you tomorrow. But when we're reporting that speech and we're telling you what he said, we have to say, he said he would call me tomorrow. It will probably be sunny. That's direct speech. She said it would probably be sunny. That's reported speech. So as you can see, we change will to would when we report what another person said in the past. There is a lot more to say about reported speech, so let me know in the comments if you want me to do a full video teaching you reported speech. Okay, would is also used to describe past habits or repeated actions in the past. When I was a child, I would spend every summer at my grandparents' house. Every morning, she would go for a run before breakfast. So this is very similar to the meaning of used to. They're both used to describe past habits or repeated actions in the past that are not true now. There's just one important difference between would and used to when we're talking about these repeated actions in the past, and that is that we cannot use would to describe a permanent state. So, I would be afraid of the dark. We can't say that. That's wrong. We have to say, I used to be afraid of the dark. That's a permanent state that was true in the past, but it's not true now. Now, I've actually already done a video comparing these two grammatical structures, which you can watch after this one by clicking up there, and I'll put a link in the description too for you. Okay, would not is also used in the past tense to show what someone was unwilling to do. In other words, what someone didn't want to do or just refused to do. For example, when my daughter was young, she wouldn't eat any vegetables. So she refused to eat vegetables. And hey, when we're speaking, we can really stress wouldn't to add emphasis to how strong the person refused. Like, she would not eat any vegetables. That's a very strong refusal. No, no, no. Another example is, the shop wouldn't give me my money back when I tried to return the jacket. Okay, so I took the jacket back and they just refused. They said no. So, no, they wouldn't accept it. Alright, so there are 4 ways that we can use would in the past. And a quick reminder that you can download the summary with all these examples and more examples by clicking the link in the description. Enter your email address and I will email that document right to your inbox. Right, let's move on to using would in the present. And generally speaking, when we use would with another verb in the present, it makes you sound more polite, less direct, which is great. One way is with requests. And listen, in English, we hate being direct. So this is a really, really useful way to sound friendly and, well, just sound like a nice person when you're speaking English. So don't say, send me the details via email. Instead, say, would you send me the details via email? Even better, would you send me the details via email, please? Much more polite. So don't say, turn down the music. A bit better than that is, do you mind turning down the music? The best way is, would. Would you mind turning down the music? And for extra polite points, would you mind turning down the music, please? If you say that, they will definitely turn down the music and they'll still think that you're a really nice person. So, win-win. Let me know what time you're arriving. Would you let me know what time you're arriving? Yes. Okay, you get the idea, and it's really common for native speakers to speak in this way and avoid sounding too direct or too rude, especially to people they don't know. So, I recommend you do the same. Okay, would plus like is also a very, very common and polite way to talk about something you want or desire. We can also use would like in offers and invitations. And a similar expression is would love, which is the same, but just expresses that you really, really, really want or desire that thing. So using this to express something we want, we could say, I'd like, that's the contraction, I would, I'd like a tuna sandwich, please. Or, I would love to visit Brazil one day. When we use would like in an invitation, would you like to join me for a coffee? We would like to invite you to our wedding in June. And using would like in an offer, would you like some help with your garden? I would like to offer my assistance with your project. Both very common and very polite ways to talk. Okay, another very common way to use would is to show preferences using would rather and would prefer. For example, would you rather have pizza or pasta tonight? I'd rather have pasta. Would you prefer the table by the window or by the door? I think we'd prefer the table by the window. And remember, using would in these situations sounds much more polite and friendly than saying, do you want, do you prefer? If you would like to learn more about the expression would rather and would prefer, I've done an in-depth video on those verbs here. You can watch that after this one. It's a really good one. I'll put the link in the description too for you. Okay, using would to give your opinion on something can also sound polite, and it can also show that you're not 100% sure about something. So here are a couple of examples. I would imagine it's been exhausting looking after your new baby. I would imagine. Like, I'm not certain. I might be wrong, but that's what I think. How old do you think I am? I would say, or I would guess that you're about 30. Again, I'm just giving my opinion. I'm not 100% sure, so it's less direct than I think this. It's, hey, I might be wrong, but this is what I think. I would think it's quicker to drive than to get the train. Again, I'm not sure, but that's my opinion. I might be wrong, probably not wrong, but at least I'm being polite and just giving my opinion, leaving room for the other option to be right. Okay, so we've looked at 4 ways that would can be used in the past, 4 ways that would can be used in the present. Now let's look at the next important section, which is would with conditionals. As you might know, would is used in both the second and third conditionals. In the second conditional, we use the word would to talk about the result if an unlikely or impossible situation happens. For example, if I had more time, I would learn to play the guitar. Here, if I had free time, this is unlikely. But if that were true, the result is that I would learn to play the guitar. If I were a bird, I would fly around the world. I'm not a bird. This is impossible. But if it were true, the result is that I would fly around the world. In the third conditional, we use it to imagine the result of something that didn't happen in the past. If I had woken up earlier, I would have arrived on time. Okay, so this is in the past. I woke up late, but if that condition were different, if I had woken up earlier, the result is that I would have arrived on time. Right. Honestly, there is far too much to say about the conditionals in this video, so I'm going to leave a link in the description and a link up there where you can learn everything you need to know about all the conditionals, 0, first, second, third, and mixed, all in one video. It's a really good one, so make sure you watch that after this one. Alternatively, if you're really not a fan of conditionals, don't worry, we can still use the word would to talk about hypothetical situations without using a conditional. Now, hypothetical situations are situations that are not real. They're imaginary, and would is often used in hypothetical situations to imagine future possibilities. Like, it would be too expensive to stay in that hotel. I would give you a lift to the doctor's, but my wife has the car today. In those sentences, we're imagining something. We're imagining staying in an expensive hotel that we don't have enough money for. We're imagining a situation in which my wife doesn't have the car. So to express these situations and to express that they are hypothetical, we use would. Another type of hypothetical way we use would is when we wish something were different. Especially when we're talking about someone's behavior or a situation that annoys us. Like, I wish you wouldn't play that music so loud. You play the music very loud. I want you to change that, so I wish you wouldn't play that music so loud. He wishes that his girlfriend would call him more often. Okay, she doesn't call him very often. He wants that to change because it's annoying. So he wishes that his girlfriend would call him more often. And again, just by using wish, we express that this situation annoys us and that we want it to change. The teacher wished that his students would listen more. Again, the students don't listen, so he wants that to change. So, the teacher wished that his students would listen. Okay, if you're still watching, it seems that this is an important topic for you, so you should definitely download the summary of this lesson. If you haven't done it yet, take it. It's free. And also, when you download it, you will also get a load of other free PDFs from me. So just click the link in the description to get that. Right, so in certain situations, would can be used to criticize or show a negative aspect of someone's behavior. Chris said that he didn't hear anything. Well, he would say that, wouldn't he? Okay, if I use would in this way, it shows that I don't trust Chris. I don't believe him. That's typical of his negative behavior. She arrived late to class yesterday. Oh, well, she would. She's late for everything. You see, I'm criticizing her and showing a negative aspect of behavior because she's always late. There's the link to the PDF, and you know how YouTube works. If you've liked this video, subscribe, blah de blah, you know what to do. And then watch that video next. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.